Hello everyone, thanks for joining in. Today I'm once again back in the nature to install an accessory on my Royal Enfield Himalayan. The accessory I want to install today, I would say it's one of the most important accessory for any motorcycle, not just for the adventure motorcycle, but for the adventure bikes, this accessory it's a vital one. So if you're wondering what that is, well, I'm talking about engine guards. My motorcycle came from the factory with this protection over here, which is very good and protects this area of the bike, but I also want to protect my engine. And as I said, especially for the adventure bikes, this is a vital accessory because you drop it very often. So basically you need to protect your engine more than on a street bike. When we talk about engine guards for the Royal Enfield Himalayan, we have about 3 options available on the market. The first option, it's actually made by Royal Enfield, and it's an engine guard that it is mounted only in 2 points, over here and over here. And it is basically a piece of metal that starts from here, goes like this and stops over there. It is not the best solution because it can bend over very easily. It will protect the motorcycle for 1 or 2 crashes, but after that it will definitely break. The second option, it's a 3-point engine guard from SW Motec. It's similar to this one that I have over here, but the problem with the SW Motec one, it's that the third point, it's mounted over here on this bracket. And this bracket, it is very flimsy, and it is just a piece of metal to keep the intake of the engine. And if you drop the bike, the force of the incident will get transferred to this bracket, and it will bend very easily and it can break your engine. So the protection from SW Motec with 3 points, it is definitely the worst solution. And now, after I talk to you about the first 2 options, which are not that good, I'm going to talk about the third option, which is the best solution for this problem. The engine guard that I have here, it's actually the third solution. It is an engine guard from GV. This one firstly mounts on the bike on the same 2 points as the one made by Royal Enfield, but for the third point, it's mounted over here on the frame of the bike. Not like the one by SW Motec that it's mounted over here on the engine bracket, yeah? It's mounted here. This one from GV, it's mounted here on the frame. And that's why it's the best solution. So without any more blabbering, let's start and mount it on my motorcycle. This is how the engine guard is mounted. We have 1 mounting point over here, 1 mounting point over here, and the third one, it's actually behind the exhaust. Firstly, I will take it off so I can work on this place. The first step in mounting this is to actually remove this plastic cap over here. I'm gonna use a screwdriver, and together with the engine guard, we have this pipe. This pipe, it's actually threaded and it comes like this. It will mount together to this crash bar and it will go through this hole to the other side, like this. When we mount this engine guard, it will mount on this pipe. The engine guard on the other side will also mount on the same pipe. And this is how the third mounting point is done on this type of crash bar. Okay, so for the next step of mounting the engine guard on the motorcycle, I'll have to unbolt this screw over here. This is one of the mounting points of the engine guard, like I presented you before. To do this, I will use a 70mm key that will help me to unbolt this screw. After I unbolted the screw, I have to push it to the other side because the engine guard on the other side actually comes mounted first and not this one. Because as you can see, I have to unbolt it here, push it to the other side and then mount the engine guard on the other side first. Before removing this bolt entirely, I have to go to the other side and I will show you exactly why. As you can see, on the other side, the bolt hits this oil pipe. So in order to avoid damaging the oil pipe, I'll have to actually take out the oil cooler. Now that the engine cooler dropped a little bit, I can move to this other side. And as you can see, I have just enough room to take out this bolt. I can take the screwdriver, tap on this bolt just a little bit. And that's it. Back on this side, we can now safely take the bolt out. Now that we have the bolt out here, we have to take out the cap on this side as well. And I'm gonna use the same screwdriver. It is very simply done. and I have the pipe that goes from one side to another, like I said. You hear that? I just got interrupted by a bunch of cows that just wandered past me. Yeah, so while I'm working on my motorcycle in the middle of nowhere, a bunch of cows just appeared. That's why I like to actually work in nature, because it is much beautiful than in a garage. So let's go back to our business while the cows wander by. So the first thing I will do is actually to mount these two together. In order to do this, I will use the screw and the washer that came together with this engine guard kit. I will do it just like this, tighten it by hand, not too tight, just enough to stay. And I will put it through all the way to the other side. I will leave it hanging a little bit like this because I want to spray some WD-40 on this hole right here. Now that I actually cleaned that hole, I can mount the second bolt of the engine guard. Again, I will just screw this by hand very easily, as you can see, so that I don't mess up any threads. And now for the third mounting point, I will put back inside the bolt that I just took out earlier. Now I have to tap it just a little bit. And with that one, we have the first bar in place. Now let's go on the other side and mount that one as well. I will not yet mount the oil cooler because for tightening this bolt, I'll have to put another key over here, and I will not be able to do so with this one back in its original position. So for now, I will leave it unscrewed so I can access this bolt at the end to tighten it. Let's go on the other side to mount this one. We have this mounting point, and the one behind the exhaust. I have to mount this just like I did on the other side. I have to push it from the other side in order to be able to mount it. I will screw this by hand for now. This was a very tight fit over here, so I had to relocate a little bit this one upwards, but seems to be okay. For the bolt that's down there, I'm gonna clean it up before with some WD-40 like I did on the other side. Now I'm gonna mount the bolt by hand like I did on the other side, and then I'm gonna tighten it for good. And that's it, this one is tightened. Now let's go to the one up here by hand at first. We finished mounting this last bolt over here. So these crash guards are pretty much mounted. The only thing that's left to do is to mount back again the oil cooler. Okay guys, that was all. As you saw, I just installed the crash bars on my Royal Enfield Himalayan, and if I could do it here in the middle of nowhere in nature, that means you can very easily do it for yourself back home. So that was all for today guys. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and we hear each other next time. Bye.